We're getting a brand new reboot of Daredevil on Disney Plus. Is it going to be as good as the Netflix one? I don't know. Stay tuned to find out. Welcome back, Gainers, to another incredible, exciting, fantastic episode of ComicGains. If you're new to the show, I'm Adam.
I'm Zach, and this is Princess Royal Highness, looking very lovely, just like usual. Doing that princess wave, you do it too, bow down, respect, and of course, there's a Coco dog.
Oh, Coco made it. Oh, the mascot is here, the comic Coco in the house. Things are going to go well today, guys.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we're back on this beautiful Monday in October. We're getting close to Halloween there, guys. And we got a brand new drop list because every Monday, the ComicGains crew gets together. We put our heads and our brains together and we scour the internet for trending lists, hot lists, any kind of speculatory list that was a year old.
Mm-hmm.
Has to be a year old. And we look into the future, or to the present as it be, and we see which of those books have gone down in price, and you get our expert opinion on whether or not you should be picking any of them up because they're good deals now and everybody forgot about them, or whether it was just a splash in the pan of fire and we should forget about that. And if you make it to the very end, you get Zach's expert opinion on graded books. Expert opinion, right?
Oh, yes.
All right, but before we get into any comics, we have to try some a new drink, a first to the show.
You know, sometimes I feel like a first mate, other times I feel like a captain. And either way, I always want to drink some pirate water by some company I never heard of. Viva la Stool.
Viva la Stool?
Or maybe that's just their motto. That might be their motto.
Wait, doesn't that mean like the chair or something?
Oh, the butt chair. Maybe. Viva la Stool. Anyways, that's what it looks like. It's a margarita flavor. So that's confusing.
Pirate water.
Pirate water, but it's also a margarita. Let's get into this. Okay.
10%, right?
Yeah, it's 10%. And somewhere in here is a 0.2, and 0.2 is the best part. It's not bad.
There's a stool on his hat.
Ah, that stool.
The pirate stool. That's how they make the water. They squeeze it all together.
But you know how you squeeze out all the gains?
Oh, checking us out on Whatnot. Oh, every Saturday at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, depending on what coast you're on. You get to hang out with Adam and Zach first, where we warm you up with dollar starts, 30-second auctions, some of the best comics at the best prices in the game. And you get to, if you stay up a little bit later, at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, Princess hosts her very own show. And if this whole time you've been wondering, like, why doesn't she talk or say anything? That's because you got to check out her Whatnot show, and that's how you get the real gains, where you get some of the best exclusives out there at the best prices. Also, dollar starts, 30-second auction. So it's a good time, and Coco's there too sometimes. She likes to hang out. So come check us out on Whatnot, guys. It'll be amazing. All right, now let's get into the comics. We have the top 5 dropped comics of 2023 in October. Second week of October. We're in the second week of October, right?
Wow, crazy thing.
It's blowing by, and an amazing show, possibly one of the best Star Wars shows ever, and one of the best, maybe not the best, one of the, it's up there. Ahsoka just finished, and that means some books are making the drop list. So we got Star Wars Heir to Empire, issue number 1, making the list at number 5 from 1995, and this is Matthew Lafray and Timothy Zahn, who wrote the original novel as well, which I've heard is amazing. Basically readapted the comic book from the novel, and that was originally considered Star Wars Legends, you know, after Disney bought the rights. All that Dark Horse / stuff was kind of like pushed aside. A lot of it seems to be coming back, though, you know. As they're like, hey, this was really good. Let's use these characters. And if you guys are unfamiliar with this book, you may have been under a rock last year, but you never know. You might not like Star Wars. First appearance of Grand Admiral Thrawn and Mara Jade, who is Luke Skywalker's wife, technically still not in canon.
Not yet.
In the Disney era, he never got married, or that we've seen. She may appear somewhere down the road. And there's also a character named Jorasi Both, which kind of, I'm not sure if that pronunciation is correct. It's actually an early clone of Palpatine. So we actually had some inkling that Palpatine was being cloned in the earlier stuff, in the Legend stuff. So it's kind of that whole, Palpatine had clones isn't way out there in left field. People were writing about that back in 1995. So, cool stuff. Obviously, this book was super hot because of the whole Ahsoka series on Disney Plus, which I just said I thought was an amazing show. Was really cool. It was almost like an extension of the Rebels TV show on Disney XD back in like the long lost 5th season that we always wanted to see. Well, Thrawn was a major villain the last 2 seasons of that show, and Lars Mikkelsen voiced him in the cartoon, and it worked out really well. He got to play him in the live action. It was cool to see him like in this like aged, like they let him kind of have his regular body instead of, because the original Thrawn was kind of like in shape and kicking some butt. But obviously this is a huge time period later, so age catches up with us all. Unless you're Yoda, and then it's like takes a long time, right?
Yeah, and Twinkies.
Yeah. So great book. Hopefully in the future we see a Thrawn TV show. That's what I'm hoping for. The next series might just be called Thrawn, and we'll get some more gains out of this. Maybe this is why this is the least dropped on the show. But be on the lookout. Zach will tell you. Newsstand edition is worth the extra money on this one. There's a weird stickered newsstand one that's like a crooked sticker of new. That seems really weird.
Yeah.
And there's also a promo pack of this book, which has more value than the regular one as well. So there's a lot of things to be looking out for, but yeah.
Very nice, very nice. Okay, prices a year ago for this intergalactic stellar book was $810 for CGC 9.8. Now, small little drop, a little bit of a gravity pull towards the bottom of $713. There's been a range throughout the entire year that's been crazy. There's been a sale of $142, which is low. Someone must have mislabeled that by accident, to a high of $1,425. Ouch. Whoever bought that. Average sale was $951. It's a 12% drop. Not too bad. I mean, it makes sense why it rose up. It should have been dropped a little bit more than this, but because the show just recently came out, it probably had a little bit of an upsurge. There's 3,096 total graded. Wait for it. Of 9.8s, there's only 402. Ooh. That's 13% of total graded. And that hits below that 25% ratio of total graded versus 9.8s.
Nice.
And that means this book has a chance. It's very hard to get this book at 9.8. And we got that book that we just showed raw and got that at 9.8.
In basically a dollar bin.
Basically a dollar bin.
Yeah.
So we got so lucky. I think this is a fantastic book. It's part of the Star Wars series that people should be going after. It's going to have long legs. This whole Star Wars thing's going to have long legs. So invest in those big keys and you'll get those gains.
Yeah, I think it's definitely a better book than some of the Kanan Last Padawan books. Those are great books as well too, but this one seems to be holding its value a little bit better than some of those the other, Rebels characters' first appearance. Unfortunately, although I love those books as well. All right, number 4 on the list. And when we were making this list, I thought this would have been number 1, so I'm really surprised this is number 4. We got Amazing Spider-Man, issue number 30, volume 2, guys. Volume 2, 2001 this came out. J. Michael Straczynski writing this story. J. Scott Campbell doing the cover. Ooh. Great combination. All right, guys, we got first appearance of Morlun, the Inheritor / vampire, soul sucker, sucking the life right out of all those spider totems. It's also first appearance of Ezekiel Sims, who is also a really cool character as well. And if you want a little background on them, if you're not quite sure who these characters were and why they were so popular, Ezekiel's kind of like this other Spider-Man, older type Spider-Man character that showed up and he's like, hey, I got the same powers as you, Peter, and I've been traveling around gaining all this money, and he's like, I actually got my powers by doing a blood sacrifice to the spider god, and they gave me these cool totem powers, and just by the way, there's this really evil Morlun vampire guy that's traveling around that's trying to suck all the life out of all the other spider characters, and I built you this really cool bunker that if you want to go stay in there because I don't want you to get attacked by Morlun. And Peter's like, dude, I don't need this bunker. I don't need to go in. This is silly. I don't want to go to this bunker. Well, he fights Morlun, gets his butt kicked, and then he's like, yo, Ezekiel, where's that bunker at? Let me get in there. And he's like, you can't do it now. You can't get in that bunker. He knows he's got your scent, so he's always going to be chasing after you. And it's a long thing. You know, Peter actually kills Morlun, I think, twice, or a reach-around way kills him twice. And this all kind of connects because if you guys didn't know, Dan Slott later used that bunker, and Ezekiel convinced somebody else to go in that bunker. And who was it, Zach?
I don't know, probably Silk?
Silk! Yeah!
I guess right!
Yeah, so they were able to connect all that together and be like, hey, that's where Silk was this whole time. Ezekiel's like, hey, Peter didn't use that bunker, Silk can go in there. So it's really cool. It's a really cool story how like two different writers connect all this together. But he is one of the main villains of the Spider-Verse comic. And everybody's like, hey, you know, they got to use him in Beyond the Spider-Verse. It's a for sure. They have to use him. Well, we didn't see him. And I don't even know if he's going to be in Across the Spider-Verse. I don't even know if he's going to be in Beyond the Spider-Verse. So, which is why he was spiking last year. And it has gone down a little bit on our drop list. Be on the lookout, though, because there is some rumor that Ezekiel got casted in the Madam Web movie as Tahir Rahim was rumored to be cast as him. He is a French actor, so you might not know many things he's been doing over here, but exciting nonetheless. There's also a newsstand version of this book as well, so be on the lookout for that. And Zach will hit you with vampire numbers.
Yes, it was blood-sucking and also spider-webbing a year ago at $215 for a CGC 9.8. Now, it's kind of like I run out of all my butt web. And guess what? The well has run dry at $140 for 9.8. Range as low as $77 to as high as $235. Average sales 126. It's a 35% drop. There's 1,706 total graded. 826 of them are CGC 9.8s. That's 48% of total graded. So that ratio is pretty high, in my opinion. It's a great book. Not bad price for a 9.8. Try to find a high-grade raw copy, ideally newsstand, and submit that. Try that a couple times, because I think you'll get a better return on your investment with that. Though 140 for a direct edition 9.8, not bad either. But that's what I would recommend. Find a high-grade newsstand copy.
Yeah, and most of the newsstands I found have been in pretty rough shape. They're hard to find those higher grade ones, but it would be spectacular if you did. And keep in mind, Dan Slott really likes this character. If you're up to your date on Spider-Man reading, they've recently brought Morlun back as a hero, kind of an anti-hero. He actually helped them fight against the new Spider Totem Killer, so it's kind of interesting. It's weird, nonetheless. All right, comic time. All right. We've got number 3 on the list, Daredevil 168 from 1981. Frank Miller writing, Frank Miller art. Fantastic book. We got first appearance and origin of Elektra. It is also the first solo Frank Miller on Daredevil where he did everything together on Daredevil. And funny thing, if you guys didn't know, Elektra is actually spelt incorrectly on the cover. There's actually no C in Elektra, but there is on the cover. Kind of funny.
So it's supposed to be Elektra?
Yeah.
And then they put the C in there.
Yeah, so there's a C on the cover. So,
stupid!
Yeah, it's kind of funny. It's a well-known misprint. Well, this book was spiking last year because we all got news that Daredevil is coming back to Disney Plus officially as Born Again, and it's going to be a reboot. So technically they're not going to supposedly not use any of the information from the Netflix show, although it's going to be a lot of the same characters. So you have Cox is coming. Charlie Cox is going to come back as Daredevil. Bernthal is going to come back as Punisher.
Nice.
You even have Kingpin is going to be the same actor as well. So a bunch of the mainstays, but we haven't heard anything about Elektra officially. So on the website, they don't have anybody cast. They haven't said Elektra is even going to be in the show. I would assume she's going to, but they didn't. She wasn't in the first season of the Netflix Daredevil one either, and that was successful. But it comes to say with this whole thing, I thought the Netflix Daredevil show was so successful and so good. I can't imagine how they're going to be better. I mean, I can't, especially with it being like slightly neutered under the Disney kind of
it's
more kid aspect and a lot less violence. I don't know. If it's anything similar to what the She-Hulk Daredevil was, I'm a little worried. I mean, I'm sure it's still going to be fun to watch, but I don't know. Nothing beats the Daredevil one. It's so good almost perfect, I say.
Right.
Almost perfect. Especially the first 2 seasons, almost near perfect on that show. So it's going to be hard, and I don't know. But that's why Elektra is back on the drop list. On a side note, I always thought it was interesting that first Bullseye and first Elektra have always been such a highly respected keys.
Yes.
You know, for Daredevil not being as an important character as some of the mainstays, those 2 keys have always been highly, highly respected. So, cool book, but Zach will hit you with them good numbers.
Right, they were hitting with a bullseye. No, that's something else. There was ninja action, backflips, ninja stars, and all everything that you think about ninjas in the positive was happening a year ago. CGC 9.8 was selling for $3,240, pretty dang high. Now it's selling for about $2,040. Range $2,040 to $3,450. Average sell is $2,723. It's a 37% drop. These numbers will blast your mind. There's 7,347 total graded, and there's only 244 of them are 9.8s. That is 3%
Woo!
of total graded.
That's why it's so expensive, guys. That's why it's so expensive.
In my opinion, it should be higher than that. It should be worth more than even the high of last year. I think this should be like a $5,000 book for how hard it is to get a 9.8. So I wouldn't be surprised if this book is going to go up like crazy. So consider picking one up. I think you can find a raw copy for a reasonable price.
Yeah, I mean, she's kind of a similar character to Black Cat that came out almost the same time, same kind of stuff, but Black Cat's book's almost worth double what like Elektra's is, you know?
Yeah.
And she hasn't even had her own movie. Elektra got her own movie already.
Yeah.
There's no Black Cat movie. I don't think we've seen the live action Black Cat.
We've seen a Catwoman movie. Don't mention it ever got. Other than I like the outfit.
Way up. Whole different universe.
Whole different universe. Yeah, I would consider getting this raw and hopefully get a higher grade. It's going to be really hard to get a 9.8. Really hard. But try it. See what happens.
You could be that guy.
You could be that guy.
You could be that. All right, guys. Number 2 on the list. You know we had to throw some DC goodness at you. The only book we don't have, DC Comics presents issue number 49, 1982. Rich Buckler, Roy Thomas. I have to say, DC Comics Presents is an amazing series. There's so many good keys in that run, so always keep an eye out. There's many underlooked keys. Undervalued keys in this run. Definitely underappreciated. But it's the first team up of Shazam and Superman where they fight Black Adam. And obviously a lot of the Black Adam keys went crazy. You had all these like previews of The Rock being like, I'm Black Adam, and I have to say, like, I was like, whoa, this is gonna be amazing. There's no reason this movie is gonna be bad. Even like some of the ones like the Jungle Ride one, like where everyone said that was a bad movie. I watched it and thought it was a great movie. It was really good. I was like, there's no way there's gonna be a bad Rock movie. And I know this will be a long debate. Zach and I are on opposite teams here when it comes to the Black Adam. I actually thought the movie was pretty horrible. Zach gives it a reasonable.
It was reasonable.
And I'll respect that. To each his own on everybody on the movie, but
it's better than Green Lantern.
Yeah, I'll give you that. Yeah. It's in that same era as Green Lantern, I'd almost say. But you know how that goes. And when it comes to Black Adam, the reason a lot of his other keys get so expensive is because the Marvel Family issue number 1 is such an expensive book. It's way, way out there. Like, there's like, we don't even know anybody who owns that book. That's how way out there that, there probably is someone we know, but, it's way, way out there where a lot of his other keys get kind of expensive. And if you're looking at them, Shazam 28 is a good one to go after. That's his second appearance in like an original story is what they say. There's all new collector's edition 58, which is a Superman versus Black Adam. Technically in disguise, he's dressed up as Shazam when he fights him, so it's kind of a weird key. But it does have some good value as well. And there's that strange one out there, World's Finest Comics issue 264, which is the 4th appearance of Black Adam. And for some reason, it's not really worth anything because, as Zach will tell you, a lot of people don't like World's Finest. I don't know. That's a cool book. It's like 4th appearance, but it's worth nothing. So, I don't know, leads you right into DC Comics Presents 49, which is a cool book. But like all DC books lately, after they hit their rise, they land on our drop list.
Yeah, it was a flop. Black Adam was trending a year ago at $375 for CGC 9.8. Now, the rock has cracked at $175 for CGC 9.8 range, 175 to 550. Average sales 329. It's a 53% drop. There's 772 total graded. 156 of them are 9.8. It's about 20%. Not a bad ratio, but will this ever go anywhere again? Who knows? Find out. Buy one for $175 for a 9.8. That's not a bad price for this book.
Yeah,
I like it. If you like Black Adam, the character, consider getting it.
Yeah, nice anti-hero. And it's too bad, too, because it's almost a spin-off of the Shazam movie, which was successful. And they basically said they're going to use Shazam going forward in the Gunn, supposedly in the Gunn series, but I think Rock rubbed everybody the wrong way too much. We may not see a Black Adam come back for a while, or even recasted for that matter, Yeah. Unfortunately. All right, the biggest surprise of the day. I was about to say evening, but it depends on when you guys are watching this. It could be any time. It's probably the evening, though. But this is surprising to me. I can't believe this is the number one drop book on the list. We got a free comic book day from 2022. This is Avengers / X-Men Judgment Day #1. And Princess is showing you the regular edition, but the actual one we're going up against is the 1/1000, which rare. Peach Momoko cover. Super rare. Jerry Duggan actually wrote this story, too, if you guys are interested in that. This is a really weird thing, and I didn't even know these existed when it came out, but when they do free comic book day, your shop still has to buy those books. They give it to you for free, but they have to buy them. And I don't know the exact number. I think it's somewhere around like in the 10 to 20 cents per book is what your comic shop is buying them for. And if they buy one, in this instance, they have to buy 1,000 copies of this book in order to get this ratio. Yep. And it's strange. And to my knowledge, I'm not the expert on this. I don't think they've really done this very many. I don't think they did it last year or this year, right? Like, I don't think in 2023 there was no 1 in 1,000s of the free comic book days. So for some reason they did it in 2022, and I believe they did it twice. There was at least 2 books that were 1 in 1,000s for this, and just kind of strange. Came out of left field. All of a sudden, like, whoa! There's a 1 in 1,000 this book. It's a beautiful Peach Momoko cover. It also, by chance, has an awesome first appearance in it as well. If you're asking yourself what first appearance, well, it's Bloodline, Brielle, the daughter of Blade. And so it's also just crazy at the same time because we got the announcement of the Blade movies coming out through Marvel. Mahershala Ali is going to play Blade. And they announced there was going to be a casting of a young character that fit the description of Brielle or Bloodline, and everyone's like, oh my god, she's a brand new character and they're already going to cast her. I don't know where that's going because Mahershala Ali read the script and was like, this is garbage, I'm not going to be in this movie. Somebody rewrite this, get me a new director. And I think for better or worse, that was good. Obviously, someone stepped up and was like, yo, this movie needs to be better. And sometimes maybe people need to say that every once in a while to make sure that the movies are better. And Blade may get pushed back even further, 2025, 2026, 2020, I don't know. So maybe Bloodline won't even be in it. There wasn't even like a for sure. But anyway, I'm kind of surprised a ratio of this and a book of this rarity made it that big of a drop. I want to hear the numbers. Zach will give us these numbers. It's pretty crazy. Princess might not want to hear the numbers because that was her book.
So, price a year ago for this delicious peach book was $900. Now, for a 9.8, it's $350.
That's still
Range
expensive.
$350 to $1,000. Average sales $800. It's a 61% drop. There's 113 total graded. Only 50 of them are 9.8s. It's a 44% of total graded. Not the best ratio in the world, but there's only 50 of those.
There's only 59.8s?
There's only 59.8s?
Ooh.
Not that.
Yeah, at that point, the ratio might not matter with the scarcity level.
She owns 2% of all 9
That's
points.
true. Oh, that's where the extra 2% comes from.
And 2% is the best part.
But
I would say, as far as this book goes, I think it's a beautiful cover. It's iconic. People are going to be remembering this book for generations. It's a great first appearance, so that's kind of like a double threat right there. I wouldn't be surprised if this book went back up into the 1,000 range, 2,000 range, even 3,000 range for being such an iconic cover. And the extra kicker to it is that it's so rare and it has a first appearance to it. So, as you well know, there's a lot of books out there that do have just iconic covers worth a crap ton. This one has an iconic cover and it has a first appearance, and it's probably much rarer than a lot of those other covers.
Yeah, it definitely has that Deshevik Ultimate Fall feeling to it, Ultimate Fallout 4, where if you're like, it may not, if nothing comes of Bloodline in the future, and we're not, we can't see the future on that, it may just be a really cool, rare book down the line, but it has potential if Bloodline becomes like the next great Marvel character. They're pushing, she has her own book already. If they're throwing in the TV or movie or anything happens, this would be that level of book where they're like, this is the one you should have got, that's the most rare. And maybe it's worth $40,000 down the line. You never know. I don't know. I wish I knew. All right, guys, you made it to the end of the show. You get the expert opinion. Zach, who is the king of slabs in the West Coast. I don't know. Somewhere around there, right? You guys watch the early days of ComicGains. What's in the box? You know Zach has a lot. He's been collecting slabs since they were slabbing books.
Yeah, they've been
one of the very original. So he has a pretty good idea what slabs you should be picking up, and he'll give it to you right now. Right now.
Yeah, this is a tough one. Now, there's a lot of books on here that
good list.
I would either I don't have or I'd want another one. I would say if you can get it, the Daredevil 168 would be a fantastic pickup. And if you don't get that, I would say this is a hard one. The Peach Momoko would be nice. Heir to Empire would be nice. I would say number one would be the Daredevil 168, and then the bargain book, because I think it has a lot of potential, is the Free Comic Book Day Peach, the 1 in 1,000. I want to say Heir to Empire too, but I can only pick two. The book that you should get is the Daredevil 168. The bargain book is that Peach Momoko because it's so rare. Good luck finding one in a 9.8. But if you find one for $350, got the cash, burn a hole through your pocket, pick it up. Mm-hmm. It's going to go up. It's going to go up. It has to.
There you go, guys. All right, that's going to wrap up the drop list for this week. And if you had just as much fun as we did delivering it, do us a huge favor right now and hit the like button. If you're not already subscribed to the show, which you should be, because we love all you guys, subscribe right now too as well. Hit the notification bell. We do this really fun thing every Wednesday where we go live and we do Q&A and we talk about new comics that are coming out for the week. We talk about our pressing techniques, our failures, our wins. We open mystery boxes. And you guys get to be there along with us and chat with us and, have a good time. So do that as well. And Zach, anything else?
Yeah, sure. How you do that is you have to think of a movie off the top of your head. Mm-hmm. And one thing that I want to talk about, I don't remember the movie, so Adam has to help me. So I commend you. You are due 100 Nazi scalps.
Inglorious bastards.
Glorious bastards.
You owe me debit?
As I say, there's no debt. Is that what he says? You
owe me debt.
You owe me debt. 100 Nazi scalps, and I would get paid those Nazi scalps. That's how you get those things.
We're not in the prisoner taking business.
No, we're in a Nazi killing business. That's a lie. There it is.
And business is a booming.
Business is a booming.
All right. Until we see you next time, guys. Stay safe and
take out those Nazis.
Get those scalps. We'll expect them on Wednesday.
If you have a debt. See you later, gainers.
Bye, guys.